Good morning, afternoon and evening, my crazies. My name's Angela, I'm the Crazy Poppy Lady, and welcome back to today's Whips, Bits and Chat. Come on, let's go and see what I've got for you today. Okay, so today there will be a couple of clothes changes because some of the parts of today's video were recorded during the week. So there's your little warning as to why things might be a little bit different. Okay, right, but let's get on, shall we? The very first thing up this week, of course, is our video roundup. It's nice, it's short, it's sharp and it's quick. And this week we had the little bird video number 3. That is for this cute guy here. So hopefully you have now completed your cushions, and you can send me in some pictures. I would really love to know, of course, what yarn you used, what hook you chose to use, and how you found the video tutorials, and whether, of course, if you had the written pattern, or whether you bothered using it and referencing it, or whether you just cheekily use the quick links that were provided in it. Yeah, I really would love some feedback on this one if you can. Right, the next item up was the book review, and it was Crochet at Play by Kat Goldin. Okay, now it's quite a nice little book from what I can remember. I did record this video over a month ago now. Now, for me personally, at the moment, I've got no kids. No, I've got none. Got no kids now. Done, dusted. Youngest turned 18. I can't class her as a kid anymore. So I've got no kids, and I've definitely got no grandkids. None on the way. Not going to happen. I want to be over the hill before I get to that point. Thank you very much, children. Love you, but not yet. Not for them, they're grandkids. Grandsnakes maybe, but 2 to 3 years before that, Missy. Right, so that was it basically for the videos that I put out this week. There was going to be a Throwback Friday, but I forgot to upload it. Maybe next week. You never know. Oh, what a crazy day I had yesterday. Tuesday. Right, so it was Tuesday. Get a knock on my door from Postie. Wasn't expecting anything, was thinking it's probably for hubby, because normally the deliveries are. And he's standing there with the package and a very weird look on his face. And I looked at him and I'm like, I recognise that package. I said, "You all right, darling?" He said, "Yeah, this is for you, RTA." I'm like, "Return to sender already?" I said, "I only posted it out on Saturday." And he's gone, "Yeah, I'm a bit puzzled." I said, "Why?" And he turns it over, he goes, "Because the stamp's on the wrong side." And I stood there and I was just like, "Give it here, I'll take it back to post office." Basically what had happened was, on Saturday when I went in, I must have handed her the parcel the wrong way round. And what she'd done was, they do like a printed sticker for postage if you take it into the post office. And what she'd done is she put my address on it and labelled it RTA Angela CPA, like Crazy Poppy Lady, with my home address, and sent it back to me instead of sending it out to the intended person. So I was like, okay, jump in the car and back to the post office I go. And I walk in and the boss is standing there and he's at one of the side tables, and I was like, "Are you busy, darling?" And he's like, "I've just got to print out these passport photos for the gentleman over there, but I'll be with you in a moment." I said, "Oh, lovely, brill." So I stood there, waited a few moments, And he came back and he said, what can I do for you? Oh, parcel, why don't you take it up to the main desk? I said, well, actually I need to speak to you. And I start laughing and he's like, what's up? I said, I came in on Saturday to deliver this parcel to my friend. I said, but I got a problem. He said, what's that? I said, it turned up at my door today. I said, I was expecting it to arrive at hers, not mine. And he looked at me quite puzzled and went, that's strange. And I passed him the parcel and he goes, oh, who was it? I'm like, it's one of the girls. Now the place is run by, like, the rest of the staff pretty much all female. So by me saying it's one of the girls, I wasn't grassing anybody up. It was his wife. I wasn't going to risk it. I really wasn't. So I just went, oh, one of the girls. So he goes, okay, no worries. He took the original postage stamp, like stamp paperwork off it, flipped the parcel over and re-put it all into the computer, stuck a new sticker on and stuck it in the basket. I said, what do I owe you? He said, nothing, darling, you made me giggle. Which one of the women was it? I went, I'm not grassing them up. But thank you ever so much. So thankfully it didn't actually cost me anything extra apart from a bit of fuel, anything extra to pop into town and send that parcel out. So fingers crossed it has arrived to her now. I'm estimating it at Thursday or Friday of last week, or the week we've just gone through. So hopefully it will get to her, and if it has, I will pop it arrived on screen for you. But I just thought, do you know what, it's such a silly thing to have happened, and it wasn't my fault for a change. Bonus. But I thought, well, while I'm in town, I'll pop to the library, take some books back, pick up another one. So I've got another one to record later on today for you, which will be out sometime next month or maybe the month after. I'm getting a bit of a buffer going here, and the girls at the library are starting to look at me strange, and I'm like, I'm starting to run out of books. There's not many left now that my local library have their hands on. They're having to actually order them in from other libraries in the area. So I don't know how long the book a week will last. It might just be a book when I can get my hands on it, but you never know. We'll see how we go. I hope you enjoy looking at those. If it's not really something for you, please tell me in the comments section down below, because it's always nice to get a little bit of feedback and know whether the content that I'm spending time creating is actually something you're interested in watching. Because if enough of you watch it, brill. But if it's something that you're not interested in, skip it. Just put a little thing underneath, like in the comment section, going, I skipped it, it's boring. And then I'll know. I won't be offended by that. It just helps me then work out what sort of content you guys want to watch, because otherwise it's not really worth my time making videos when only 2 people watch it. Although I do love the 2. I do love my 2 that watch all my videos. There might actually be 3 or 4 now. Okay, now for completed whips. At this moment in time, I don't have anything completed. I'm working on a project for July. So I'm working through that project at the moment so that I've got something for July for you. Christmas in July. Oh, it's getting too close. But yeah, as I said, I'm working on a video for that at the moment, and it's taking up quite a bit of time, so I can't really show you that yet because it will spoil it for you all. So that's my crochet project for the evening, and during the day at the moment we've been a bit busy. We are trying to tackle the gardens again. If any of you saw the videos last year with those plants that had grown up to the 2nd floor that I'd managed to cut down and get rid of, the back. So now we've got to do it again. This time round we are tempted to actually dig them all out and turf it, or dig it out and I'll get some wildflower seeds and pop them down, so then I don't really have to worry. But we've also got a tack of the bramble bushes that's been growing up and around the house. It's starting to look like a really scary dodgy movie. You know, like a graveyard, and there's vines everywhere. A bit of a Tim Burton-esque house, this one at the moment. So yeah, definitely tackling that. So that's been taking up our daytimes. But I dropped my daughter off to school. No, I went to pick her up the other day, and she made me wait. Now she's over 18 now, so I can be more of a cowbag to her. She made me wait. I don't like it. Sounds horrible. She's doing her art exam. Okay, I know she'd finished it, but she decided to stay and talk to the teachers for like 10 minutes extra. So she was 10 minutes later out than what she would have been. and I'd been planning to pop to Hobby Lobby, not Hobby Lobby, sorry, Hobbycraft, to pick up some items. I don't normally shop in there because our prices are quite high, but I'd noticed they had something on sale that appeared to be cheaper than most other places, so I wanted to grab it. And I was going to pop in there, but I got caught in traffic, so I got to school to pick her up with about 3 minutes to spare. And of course she'd have me sitting there. Now, Hobbycraft, it would have taken me, in my thinking at that moment, it would have taken me about 10 minutes. She had me sitting there for longer. So she got in the car and I said, right, taxi service is doing a detour. I'm going shopping there. And she's like, no, we're going home. I said, no. You're not in control of my car unless you're driving it. Your L plates aren't on, so I'm driving. So I jumped in the car. Or she jumped in the car, I should say. And we go round to Hobbycraft. At that, she looks at me, she goes, I ain't going in. You can forget it. I said, okay, fine. What, you going to sit in the car? She went, yeah. I said, no, you're not. She went, what? I said, drive for 18. You've got your L plates in the car. I ain't risking nothing. I was being proper cheeky. She would never steal the car, but it's just me being cheeky about it. So she jumps out. She goes, right, fine. I'm still not going in Hobbycraft. She goes, I'm going to go and get Costa. So walk right up the other end of the trading estate just to go and get herself a coffee or whatever it was that she got. So I've popped into the store, and basically what I was after was some plastic canvas, because as some of you know, last week I showed you the bag that I'd made for the wedding. But I didn't have a way of making it stable, so I'd used a cereal box. And basically what I'd done was I'd folded I'd sliced down the edges and then folded it over to give it a bit more stability inside, and then shoved it into the bag, and then made little holes and threaded yarn between that and the bag, and it held up pretty well. But I was really dubious the whole night that if I sat on it, it would never get its shape back. I'm actually saying that if I sit on anything, it never gets its shape back. But so anyway, I went in to Hobbycraft. So yeah, I got it right. Right, so I've walked in, and of course they've got what are they called? Basic lumps of material that are really small, all folded up, and they wanted £8.50 for a pack of these 5. And I thought, well, I can't find anything I really like, for one. And £8.50 is a lot for a couple of bits of square material that are probably not going to be long enough to line the whole thing. So I've asked the chap, right, I know where the material is. Where is the, oh, what's it called? I've got it here. I can look at the name of it. Oh, you're joking? They don't even name it. Okay, but basically I wanted this plastic stuff. Now I know it for cross stitch. I've used it before with a lot smaller holes in it. So I've used it for cross stitch. I think I've done a latch rug at one point as well, using this with larger holes and lumps of wool. But I'm talking when I was like early teens, if not younger, for the rug. The cross stitch I did in my 20s, and that was used for a fancy dress costume for my daughter. But I wanted some of this. Now I've gone upstairs, they had a pack, it was a bit smaller, it was like that, pack of 12 pieces, and they wanted 14 quid, I think it was. And I'm like, I'm not paying that, because it's still not the size I want. I wanted one piece that I can just fold to have it the shape I want, rather than having to attach each section. So I carry on looking, can't find nothing, go into the materials section, and I found some material, £6.50 a metre. I bought it. I'm like, do you know what? I've got more material than what would have been in one of those little stacks of materials, and it's cheaper, and it's the colour I want, so sorted. So I grabbed that, went downstairs, and said to them, like, where do I find the plastic canvas? He said, oh, we've moved some because it's on special and it's on an end panel. I'm like, right, thank you. Up I go, and I find these. What were they? About £1.50 a sheet. Not too bad, not too bad. Just got to cut it up. Oh look, I've got a hat. But anyway, I bought 2 just in case I mucked up, because I know what I'm like. Okay, so I sat down on a Tuesday evening and I started guesstimating. I've done it. I've got the inside folded. Okay, so what I've done, there it is, in all its glory. So all I've done is basically I've decided to have the edges, the sides double enforced. In other words, I'm not cutting it anymore, but double enforced. And I think I have actually mucked up my count on one side because one seems to be higher than the other, just by one, which is really strange because everything else matches. So I've done something slightly off on one side, but I think I can rectify that just by cutting a bit off. So not too much of a problem. So that is my inside, and it does fit in quite nice and snug. So here is my material. Now it's like a fake, it feels like a bit of a fake suede. Now, but the thing is, I'm not too sure. One side is a very fake suede, but the other side is quite a nice shine. It's smoother. So I'm not too sure which way round I want to go with. If I want to go fake suede and have that worn off on the inside of the bag, or whether I just go for shiny so it's easier to clean. Haven't made the decision yet, so if you've got any ideas on which way round it should go, pop that in the comment section down below. I really need some help from my bag crafters here. Never done this before, okay, and never done it before, not watched videos yet on how to do this. I've just guessed it. So fingers crossed I got it right, but if not, it's fine because I've got a spare. And on top of that, if I get it wrong, it's fine, because what I can do is I can cut this down and make a smaller bag anyway. So there's nothing really lost material wise. I've even saved the bits I cut off. You never know, could be good for something, right? The plan is though to line the inside and the outside of the box, like the bit I've made to insert in, so then it means I can easily sew that onto the main body of the bag, and not have anything showing through. Fingers crossed. Right, so because that project then got put on timeout, because hey, I started it earlier on in the week and I've got to wait for your responses, it got put on timeout. So I went back to doing another project, the Hush Hush Quiet project, and got very bored of it. So I'm like, right, that's it. I need something that's going to engage my brain again, because I'm getting really bored of this crochet project I'm doing. So that one went on timeout. Don't panic, I've got it sussed. I will get back to it, I think. But yeah, so what I did was I searched through some of the patterns that I have on my computer. Now I've been really lucky over the last few years. I won a bundle of 30 patterns. I got seriously stitched up. Of why I entered, I don't know. But I didn't think I was going to win. But I was really lucky to win a bundle of 30 of Fiberfox Studios Mosaic pattern crochet patterns. Now so far out of the bundle I've made 2 of these patterns. One was a runner that I've put on my sofa to stop my crochet hooks falling down the side of the sofa, which I need to put back on because I've lost about 4 under the sofa this week. And another item was a cactus bag that I made, like a little children's cactus bag, just so that I could see if I could work learn how to work the mosaic in the round, and it worked out really beautifully. But of course, because they're her patterns, I can't really show you how to do it. I only told you how I'd done it, if that makes sense. So during a previous Whip Spits and Chat, I discussed the base of it and how I'd made this bag using that her patterns and her tutorials. Well, this time round I remembered one of the patterns, and in my head, if I remember it, that means I've got to make it. Well, she's got a beautiful one, and it is pattern number 22, and she's called it Knots. Now this actually comes in a set of about 4 different charts. So you've got just a basic one, and you've got different sizes, and you've got multiples. Now I thought this was absolutely brilliant. I can't show you the pattern, sorry to say, because it is one of her paid for patterns. On her channel she has one of the knots out of the set, like tutorials that you can jump on and you can use, but it's not the one I'm using. I'm using one from the set, so of course it's paid for. So I definitely can't show you the pattern there, but what I can do is show you my work so far. Oh my gosh, that looks so much better on camera. Okay, I can see it now. I've been looking at it, and because I'm looking at it so close, I'm like, where's the design? But that is it. That is the knots. To me, I see a Celtic knot design, and I really love the Celtic knot designs anyway. I've just never attempted anything with them. So now I started making this, and this is 2 evenings worth of work. I've already completed the first repeat, and which finished at about when my fingers are holding, so I'm now working onto my second repeat. But the thing was, I started doing this and I'm like, what am I making with it? I don't know. I just started making it. Now the pattern itself is really quite lovely and easy to do. Now it doesn't have a tutorial that goes with it, so you have got to do your counting and to work out where your drops are. The pattern has got the crosses on that. Hold on, I'll show you a cheeky bit. If I show you the top, is that way? I'm not giving too much away. There we go. So there's the pattern there, and as you can see, it's color coded lovely. You've got your on one side it will tell you what color yarn you're using, whether it's option A or option B. On the other side it tells you your rows. It also gives you a colored section that shows the repeats, and it tells you how many stitches you will need per repeat, plus your additionals to be able to create the item that you want. Okay, so this one is from her set, from the set that I said about, which was pattern number 22, but this one's a little different because it is multiples of 16 plus 4. So I've done 3 times the multiples, which meant it was 48 plus the 4, making it 52 chain to start. Whew, got through it. But what I'll do is I'm going to keep going on this because I've now worked out what I'm doing, and I'm not going to spoil the surprise. I'm going to tease you probably for the next couple of weeks, so that you can see what this sample got turned into. Just know it will get turned into something that's usable. So have a guess down below. And no, I'm not trying to nick your ideas because I haven't got it. I already know because I've already started working on the next bit. That's all I can say. And I've got the idea on the bit after that I need, and the way that I'm going to join it all together. So yeah, you got no clue, have you? But go on, have a guess in the description, in the comment section down below. So if you like the look of either of those 2 patterns that I just showed you in the photos, or of course the one that I've got here, make sure that you check out the link in the description box down below for Courtney at Fiberfox Studio, and have a nose through her playlist and see if there's anything there that interests you. Now remember, she doesn't just show you how to work it flat. There are tutorials on her channel where you can change the item from flat to working in the round. So there is a lot more things that you could make with the mosaic patterns other than just blankets. Right, on to the next thing. Now, as I said earlier, my daughter's turned 18. She was, I have to say was now instead of is, she was doing her GCSEs. They finished this week. So of course I got to go and pick her up at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And I'm sitting in the car park waiting for her to come out and say goodbye after she'd said goodbye to everybody. So I was waiting there a little while, just listening to my music. Well, as she turns up, I turn my stereo down and she's looking at me strangely. But she gets in the car, and just as I'm about to move away, I start humming do 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 do. Okay, you probably don't recognise it. I will pop a link stating music in the description box down below. But basically, it's a theme tune to a very old, well-known film here in the UK called The Great Escape. I couldn't resist. We sang it for her when we were taking her out of hospital when she was born, because she'd been in NICU for like 5 days, and it made the staff laugh when we were leaving the hospital, humming the theme tune to The Great Escape. And so of course it had to be done after all those years of education, because she doesn't intend to go on to university. That's not where her plans lie and her thoughts lie. So that's it for her for education now. So it had to be done. The theme tune had to be sung, and I'm sorry if I stuck the earworm in your ear. Listen to it, you never know, it might get rid of it for you. Okay, so now it's time for the Poppy update. Okay, one of you said in the comments you hadn't had a Poppy update for a while. And I thought, actually, no, I haven't done it because I'm trying to stretch it out for the whole year. Okay, so for any of you that don't know, I'm associated with my local Royal British Legion group here in my local area. Now, the Royal British Legion is absolutely lovely, and they raise funds for ex-service personnel. Now, and what they use the money for is help with prosthetics, mental health, housing, you name it, anything that an ex-service personnel or his family may, or her family may need. Okay, so of course this is something that's quite close to my heart, as my husband's ex-service personnel himself. So before I started up this channel, I was a bit crazy. I found a crochet pattern and I started making crochet brooches, and I donated some to my Royal British Legion. There's a whole massive story about it. If I can find the original story, it does sound a lot better first time round. It's because otherwise by now it sounds like I've practiced it far too much. So I will pop a link up here to the original post where I was describing it, and hopefully it does it justice. I can't quite remember how I said it, but anyway, over the years I've made, as my opening title state, 2,600 of these poppy brooches. Now the first year there was 1,400, the second year there was just the 1,000, the third year we'd hit Hovid. I said Hovid, you can't delete the video. So we had that time, and I wasn't too sure whether we'd be able to actually sell them on, although I'd done a lot of extra precautions throughout the year, made sure that they'd been quarantined, they were date stamped and everything else, so I knew that my household was clear of it when I donated. Because of this, I only did 200, which is why the count is now sitting at was sitting at 2,600 at the beginning of the year, instead of the 3,000, actually 4,000 I was hoping for, because I've been doing it over the last 4 years. Right, so I'll roll on to this year. This year I'm planning just to make it up to 3,000, so it's a nice round figure for me to then possibly start again next year, but that will depend on rules and regulations for the UK on what they class as mass producing. Because 1,000 is classed as mass producing, which means I have to start up as a full-blown company just to donate. And I've got lots of other hoops that I'd have to jump through. So next year, this year may be my last year, next year probably will be. So that is why I've been pushing quite a bit for you guys to join in and make a few yourself to donate, because of course you can get away with making 100 or 70 or whatever yarn you've got available and pinned brooch backs you've got available. You can make as many as you like to pop on the table, because I can't see any of you being as back crazy as me and making 1,000 or even 500, maybe 100 grams worth, which is around the 70 now, because of course I've now got a new tutorial up for you that uses less yarn, just because I'm that evil to you. I love you, but I'm evil. And the more we can get out of 100 grams, the more that can go on the tables. Right, so now it's time for the donation count at this moment. Right, I am now declaring that he has gone up a tier. We are up to a 300 ready, packed and ready to go to the Royal British Legion. And of course, in a couple of months time, there'll be another update, and hopefully I'll have rounded it up to a nice 3,000 made by then. But at the moment it's sitting at 2,900. Yay! Now, I would normally be doing my photographs about this point in the video, but I haven't received any yet. Okay, so oh, what was I going to do? I can't think. So I haven't received any yet, so there is no photos this week, which is a bit of a shame. But if you miss them, just skip back to the ones I put in my old stuff. Right, that is it for me for today. Thank you ever so much for watching all the way through, and I will see you all really, really soon. Please remember, pop a comment in the comment section down below. A thumbs up would be appreciated, but not a must. And check out all the links that are popping around my head now. We've got the shop for my patterns, and we've got subscribe, and we've got a couple of other things that I haven't decided what I'm putting up there yet. But have a look, have a nose, and see if there's either some videos that you may have missed or some videos that you might want to revisit. Right, that is it for me for today. I will see you all really, really soon. So please remember, stay chilled, stay happy, and keep crafting. Goodbye, everybody.